This is Rob Tebbutt for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. Delighted, as always, to be joined by the WBC lightweight champion of the world, Devin Haney. How you doing, Devin?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm very well, thanks. Very well. Been a while since I've seen you. I think usually I bump into you in much more glamorous surroundings in my living room. How have you been?
Yeah, I've been good. Yeah, normally I see you at big fights and stuff like that, but now we're both in each other's houses. But it is what it is.
Hopefully it's not too long before I get to see you at those big fights. But yes, we're on something of a schedule today. You've been doing the rounds, the media rounds. Talk to me about your fight with Gamboa. I bet you can't wait to get back in the ring.
I cannot wait. It's the longest layoff of my career. It's been almost a year since I've been in the ring. So I'm very excited to be back. I've been training hard. I'm focused. Been very disciplined, and I can't wait to go in there and showcase my skills.
Now, obviously, we've seen Gamboa around. He's been around the block a few times in his career. What are you expecting from him on fight now? Obviously, we saw him went significantly longer with Gervonta Davis than people were expecting. What are you expecting to see from him on fight night?
I think he's going to be a tough competitor. I think that he's going to go in there. He's going to bring his all. He's been, a lot of top guys' toughest fights. So you cannot sleep on him. You cannot, underestimate him. He comes in there and he lays it all out on the line. Gamboa has the type of mentality that I'm going in there to get the win. At the end of the day, I want to look pretty. I want to, go in there and be untouched. So we'll see how the fight goes. I'm excited for it, though.
If the knockout comes, I'm sure you won't say no.
Of course not.
Great time to be a lightweight. Let's touch upon this past weekend, Lomachenko and Teofimo Lopez. I'm sure you've been asked about this hundreds of times, but talk to me about the performance. What did you make of the fight?
I thought it was a good fight. It was a good fight for boxing. I thought that it was a very interesting fight. I didn't think that Loma would go in there and, be not as busy. But take nothing away from Teofimo. He went in there, he got the win. He showed heart, and he showed that, he came to fight and he got the win. So much congratulations to him.
What did you make of Lomachenko's performance? A lot of people obviously puzzled at the fact that he gave away seemingly the vast majority of the first half of the fight. Were you surprised of his performance?
Yeah, I was very surprised. At first, I thought it was like some type of magical game plan. I'm waiting for, to see what's going to happen next. Waiting for the round where he's going to explode. But it didn't happen. And, it didn't work, and the whole boxing world was surprised of why he chose to do that. Because when he let his hands go, he landed. But, things happen.
Obviously, since the fight's come out, everybody, myself included, has been glued to social media, seeing what you're saying, seeing what Teofimo's saying. Everybody's looking at that as a massive, massive fight in the future. How impressed were you with his performance, and what did you see that makes you feel that you'll be able to come out on top against Teofimo Lopez?
Teofimo went in there. He showed heart. He showed that, he came to fight, like I said. But, he went in there and he, how do I say this? It was what Loma didn't do. Because a lot of the early rounds that he won, it was because Loma wasn't punching. He was just more busy. When Loma started throwing, he was landing, he was winning rounds. But like I said, I cannot take nothing away from him because he went in there and he did do that. He let his hands go. It's not his fault.
When can we expect to realistically see that fight between you and Teofimo? You've spoken about moving up to 140. He's spoken about moving up to 140. Is that where the fight's likely to take place?
I don't know. Hopefully that the fight can happen soon. It would be crazy if it would happen at 135 for all the belts. The real belts, the real undisputed fight. Hopefully, we can make that fight happen next.
Now, you mentioned real undisputed fight. Obviously, a lot of talk going into the fight was about the franchise title, the WBC title. Clear something up for me, Devin. Who's the WBC champion?
We know who the WBC champion is, and we know who has a franchise title. It's not really a belt or anything like that. It's a title. So,
does it annoy you that people kind of bring that up? They reference that. I mean, he's been calling you an email champion. Does that get under your skin at all?
No, not really, because he's been saying this for a while now, and at the end of the day, I'm not the one that asked for the I never asked to get elevated or do anything like that. We were all in this tournament. I worked. I beat everybody that was in the tournament, or the guys that was in front of me, and I worked to be the mandatory, and then Loma asked for this franchise title. The same thing he did. He went and he asked for a franchise title as well. So you gotta look at these guys top ranked.
Just before I let you go, Devin, as I mentioned, it's a great time to be a lightweight, arguably the best division in the sport. Just grab your opinion on a couple of fights between some guys who I know that you know well. Luke Campbell versus Ryan Garcia. Now, every time I see you in America, you always have something for me to go and tell Luke Campbell back home. How do you feel that that fight's going to play out between Ryan Garcia and Luke Campbell?
I think that it's going to be a good fight. It's a good fight for boxing. It's an interesting fight. I think that it will be an easier fight for Ryan than a lot of people think. A lot of people are underestimating Ryan, thinking that, he hasn't really been tested or whatever. But I think that, he'll go in there and he'll make it fairly easy.
What makes you say that? As you say, a lot of people are picking it as a 50-50 fight or a very difficult fight for Ryan Garcia. What makes you think it'll be easier than that?
Just because I've been in the ring with him, several times. I seen him, since we were kids, and I just think that his style, he's too explosive. He has too much skills.
Okay, and just before I let you go, somebody else that you know very well, Gervonta Davis versus Leo Santa Cruz, 130 and 135-pound title. Not really sure what's going on there, but let's push that to one side. What do you make of that fight? How do you see Tank getting on against Santa Cruz?
I think it's a good fight as well. I think Leo's a much smaller guy, but I have props to him for stepping up and wanting to fight Tank and wanting to make a big fight happen. I just think that Tank will be too much for him. I just think he's too big, too strong for Leo.
Okay, well, Devin, it's always a pleasure catching up with you. As I said, we are on a slightly limited time frame. Hopefully, I can catch up with you sometime where I'm not sat in my living room sometime in the near future. Thanks very much for speaking to Boxing Social. I'll catch up with you soon.
For sure. Thank you.